Greetings my chess friends Robbie, and I'd like to do a little video in reply to another YouTube video which was contributed by one of my favourite YouTube contributors, Gujan, who I think lives in Ahmedabad in India. And Gujan posted an excellent video of a system against the Caro Kann, the Spassky Gambit, and it has to do with this pawn thrust here, the so-called advanced variation. Now the main line for this is bishop to f5, and Gujan showed some excellent analysis on how this bishop can be an object of attack. And it's for this reason that I don't like this move, bishop to f5. White can gain a lot of tempi on this bishop when it comes out to f5. And I'll do anything for an easy life. I'll even sacrifice a pawn for an easy life. And this is the reason I am advocating this system here, to play an immediate counter attack in the centre with the move c5. It is in fact a pawn sacrifice because white can keep his extra pawn, but in doing so he must make some unusual moves. And we have a very easy life because of his, what we can say, materialistic desire to keep this pawn, because the pawn will be advanced and we will simply undermine the entire pawn structure because of this, and we'll get some serious positional compensation as a result. Now Gujan in his video showed this line here: knight to c6, threatening to win the e-pawn. Therefore, to stop that, white plays the move bishop to b5, pinning the knight against the king. Well, we have a very easy life. We simply play e6, threatening to take back our pawn on c5. And here white must find a way of protecting this pawn. In his video, Gujan suggested the move b4, and he simply left the analysis there. White can keep his extra pawn. Yes, white can keep his extra pawn, but we will get some serious positional compensation if he tries to do so. We will simply undermine these advanced pawns, and we'll open files for our rooks, and you'll see that you will get some serious compensation for your pawn. Now, in master play, the masters tend not to play this move b4. They in fact protect the pawn with bishop to d3. Bishop to e3, sorry. And we have a very simple idea. We're going to play knight to e7, knight to f5, and we'll threaten to take this bishop off, which is the sole defender of this advanced pawn. Well, in order to keep his pawn, white plays the move c3. We continue with our idea, and the bishop comes to the sort of strange square d4. And here we play the excellent bishop to d7, simply threatening to take our pawn back. Now we have two ways we can do this. We can take it back, and if the bishop takes, we simply retake this bishop and we've got our pawn back. Or if the bishop takes, we simply retake back with our knight, and again we've got our pawn back. So with the move bishop to d7, we're simply threatening to win our pawn back. And then in order for white to stop this idea, he must chop this knight on c6. And of course we retake back with our bishop. So white has so far managed to keep his extra pawn. Now in master play there are two moves here, generally knight to e2 or knight to f3. We'll take a look at the more common knight to f3. Here of course we chop this bishop off, which is the protector of the c5 pawn. And if white captures with the pawn, c takes d4, we simply undermine these advanced pawns. If white takes, we simply take back, and we're exerting pressure along the b file. If white threatens a queen exchange, we simply play queen to a6, and we have prevented white from castling. And this is only part of our compensation for our pawn. Our plan is to develop our bishop to castle kingside, and we will exert some serious positional pressure down this open c file and half open b file. And we have a very easy life of it, simply because we were willing to give up a pawn for positional compensation. If we go back, sometimes happens that white takes with the queen. Well, here we simply play queen to a5, threatening to take our pawn back. White of course must do something about this, and again we simply play our queen to a6, getting some compensation for our pawn. Again, white is unable to castle. And in one of the games I looked at, black tried to make some use of his queenside pawns by playing the move a4, but again we simply undermine these pawns. Pawn takes, trying to utilise these extra queenside pawns. Again we simply dodge that, stopping white from castling. And we have excellent compensation for our pawn. Again we're simply going to develop our bishop, we're going to castle kingside, and in this instance we have play against this backward pawn on the c file. Positional compensation for our pawn and a very easy life of it. So yes, white can keep his pawn, but we get an easy life for it. Now let's look at Gudjin's idea. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. I do apologise if I'm not. Which was to play b4. Again we simply threaten to take our pawn back with the move bishop to d7. We are of course threatening this here. So for this reason white's got to chop this knight, and we take back with our bishop. And we can see the advanced nature of these pawns. Now in Gudjin's analysis he gave the somewhat, I would say, radical line of queen to a4, and trying to play like this, but we're Caro Kann players. We don't play chess like this, we play chess strategically. And is therefore we don't play moves, exotic and sort of outlandish moves like queen to h4, trying to get our pawn back. We're prepared to give up this pawn. And we play the excellent b6, pawn sacrifice. And here we reach our position. Now, what I'm going to do is look at this position from the perspective of a database, and just let me switch there just for a moment. And here we have our position, and the most popular move here is knight to e2. And here we again play b6, pawn sacrifice. The most popular move is knight d4. Play queen d7, bishop takes, c3. And again, here we have excellent compensation for our pawn. The double pawns on the A file. This pawn is isolated backwards and weak. We have an excellent position here with an easy life. If I can just go back. Try knight f3. a5, undermining these advanced pawns. c3, trying to defend it. A takes b, c takes b6 again, undermining these pawns, trying to protect the pawn with bishop to e3. Pawn takes, pawn takes. Pawn takes because of the tactical shot. And again, we have an excellent position, very easy life of it. What would you rather have? An isolated pawn on the A file, or a central pawn here protected past the pawn? So this is a system that I advocate for the Caro Kann advanced variation. Instead of playing the main line bishop to f5 and getting your bishop kicked around, simply counter-attack in the centre, and if white tries to hang on to this pawn, you have a real easy life of it. Whoops. Undermining these advanced pawns in the centre. So thank you very, very much for taking the time to watch this little video, and I wish you well with your own chess.